Okay, guys, so chances are you clicked the video because you saw that sold $127,000 on eBay, and we're going to get into that. My name is Mark Augustine. I've been drop shipping on eBay since 2011. My goal is to help you guys on YouTube make money, and we have two gentlemen here. Ronnie, you want to introduce yourself, and then Applie Pie, the guy who we're going to talk to about his 127 grand. But Ronnie, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, my name is Ronnie. I've been drop shipping on eBay with e-commerce for around just the start of this year to now. And I made around 40 grand in revenue lifetime, but never as close to this guy, Applie Pie right here. This guy's insane.
All right, Apple Pie. So what's the deal? So who are you? Where are you from? How much money you sold? How you did it?
My name's Apple Pie. I've been drop shipping on eBay since my junior year of high school. I
Wow. Okay.
started selling two products. They were STEM education products. I'm not going to say any more than that because I still sell them. And these two products, I bought one of them off AliExpress, shipped it to my house, and it's like, wait a minute, this is pretty good. They're selling this for $50 on Amazon. The used market is $30 on eBay. I can make something happen here. So out of luck, I stumbled into this product. I call it like a golden product. There's only so many of these, and you don't know them until you find them because no one else knows them. So
Right, right.
and that's tricky. With sniping, everyone, it's an open market. Everyone knows things, but if you can find something that no one else has, it's great. So I found these few products, and the peak I did with that was $2,000 revenue in February of my senior year of high school, and I was thrilled. Like $2,000, that's a lot of money. And I was like, okay, well, what else can I sell? So then I found another product. It was in the toy category. That's most I'm going to say about that because again, I still sell this product.
Right.
And I added that to my store because at the time I clicked on I like was like, oh, I wonder if this sells. So I typed it in and then I clicked like the sold listings button and it was like it says it sold today, yesterday. It seems like it's selling a lot.
Right.
And now we have better data, right? And tools to access the data. But that was what I had back in high school. So I did that for a little bit. And then I did 1.4K in August, 3K in
You want to
September.
share your screen?
Sure.
So people on YouTube don't think it's a lie.
Yeah, so
Right.
August, this was still just these three products I was doing, and eventually September I did 3K revenue in September, and like that's a lot of money. So I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I wonder where I can find other people drop shipping on eBay. So I searched for a community of people that were drop shipping on eBay, and it led me to Ecom Sniper actually. So it turns out that there was software that helped me do the thing I didn't do for a year already.
Right.
And one of the beautiful things about my situation was that I had an account already warmed up, already ready to go. I already hit my
I
five
think
thousand
what
dollars
is
sold.
interesting is that you got it. You weren't looking for a way to make money online. You kind of like
Mm-mm.
you figured out something by accident, and then like,
Yeah,
hey, there are people doing it. So
yeah.
that's actually, I know there's one other person that I met like that. But anyway, go ahead, go ahead.
So yeah, I got access to this tool, Ecom Sniper. That's how I think about it. It's a tool.
Mhm.
And it allowed me to, instead of just going into the sold listings and guessing, to say, okay, well, I have this product. I see how frequently it's selling on this exact day, and I can show you some of that later. It allowed me to think more critically using data to say, okay, well, here's something I can actually sell. Here's something that's going to do well. And then say, okay, if this seller's selling something, what else is that seller selling? And ask those kinds of questions over and over and over. And from a mix of doing that and doing things no one else is doing, right? So I did a lot of AliExpress to eBay and
Right.
figuring out how to do that well, just
Yeah,
through
because
trial
I
and error.
remember a few
Mhm.
months ago we talked just personally about that. It wasn't recorded. But yeah, that's interesting. But we're not going to go into that. But go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so I still do a lot of AliExpress. Most of my sales come from AliExpress because it gives me an edge. So
Right.
I did 10K in October, 18K in November, and then December I had hit 31K, but I had this one product that was getting pushed like crazy through. At the time I was running not promoted listings, but they're paid. I forget
Right.
what it's called.
What?
And
Like off,
yeah,
like
yeah, offsite.
offside paper. Okay.
I found that the offsite ads optimized for high order value items.
Mhm.
So like most of my stuff that I sell is like 20, $30, but by running offsite ads, it would help the like $400 item sell or the
Right.
$200 item sell, which was an
And you have
interesting
a bigger
finding.
margin there to afford the clicks, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. The issues they like spread across a whole bunch of less good products as well.
Right.
So I ended up
Right.
turning it off, but that led to me selling a lot of this one product. I think I did something like 5K from this one product in the month.
Right. Yeah,
And it turned out that the buyers were not happy with that product.
yeah. Oh
And I
God.
had a lot of refunds, which is why you'll see so much taxes and fees compared to the other months.
Right.
So that was unfortunate. January was great, but the thing about January is it's almost February. And sometime around January 20th, I think is the Lunar New Year festival. One of the big China festivals. Periodically, China shuts down
Ah,
for
right.
a
And they
period of a few
stop
months.
shipping. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
like the reality is eBay is so temperamental. You need to be like on top of everything always. And
Right.
if there's too many delays above a certain number of days, everything breaks. So I turned off the store for some period of time there, opened it back up in February for a few months, turned it off in March and April because I was focusing on school, and opened it up in May and for a few weeks. And I was being lazy. I neglected the store. I had some return cases I didn't upload return labels to fast enough. Or actually, I did upload the label, but I forgot to click I received the item. Because in the past, it would just like refund them. But the issue is these were item not as described returns, which are treated as cases. So if you don't click return on those cases, they'll go against you as an eBay case. And those will affect seller performance. So for all of June and July, I was treated as a below standard seller. And I was still actually able to manage 10, 11K sales, mostly by finding creative items to sell. So for a little bit, I was selling items from Temu on eBay that I would ship out manually. So that helped me boost those numbers. Even though I was below standard, I was still able to kind of make it work. So that's where I'm at right now with sales.
Right. So you use one of the things I wanted to ask you is why do you use both Ecom Sniper and
Price, yeah.
Price Yak?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
had this girl from Price Yak on my channel. I actually checked it. What's her name? Hold on. But go
Check.
ahead. Hold on.
So they're both great tools and they're both better at certain things. So one of the things that are incredible about eBay or about Ecom Sniper is the templates and the competitor research. I can create a better listing than any other service, in my opinion. Like I've tried everything. I've tried every single one of the softwares out there. The
Right.
Ecom Sniper listing tool makes the best listings. That's it.
Okay.
The product research on Ecom Sniper is better than anything you're getting from the one other main competitor that does product research on eBay.
Jessica. Yeah, sorry, Jessica.
Yeah.
Ecom Sniper, the listing,
Ecom Sniper is great. The listing's really good. Product research is the best you're gonna get. There's one other big company that does product research on eBay, and the things you can get out of the product research tools on Ecom Sniper are more detailed, better, faster, tell me more data.
what? Are you talking about Zeke?
I am talking about Zeke.
No. I only say that because so Zeke Analytics, like back in the day, before I did DS, while we were doing DSCD, we had a piece of software, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But Zeke basically copied that piece of software and made Zeke. Like we made the first version of Zeke. You know what I mean? And one of the
Ecom Sniper's
things
better.
but one of the things that I think, and I mentioned this to Sammy, that I like to see in Zeke is and our software had the pre-DShin had the same thing, is how much each seller sold. Just for like my personal motivation, right? Like if I see someone sold like 60 grand, I was like, okay, if I could snipe 10 of these guys, maybe I'll get to 60 grand. But
100%.
it's not necessary, but for
Well,
the data.
I get that. I get that in
Yeah.
Ecom Sniper.
How,
Yeah.
how, how?
If you here, let me open up competitor research. So this is where all the work happens, right? I scrape. I'm very specific when I search for products. So I find eventually you can like use your products that you know are good and use those. But sometimes I will like search for random keywords or something. I'll find some niche thing. So here's a great example. Squid Game. When Squid Game came out in the most recent season in like February, I think it was, maybe it was January,
Right.
any seller selling Squid Game stuff that week is competent. That's how I thought about it.
Okay.
So there was this one Squid Game like toy set that you could get in China from one factory for like $7, and you could easily sell it for $20.
Right.
And there were like people selling it for like 25, and they were doing like 40 a day, or like they were doing like 10 a day, but still. And there were like a few sellers doing this, and I sniped all of them because those sellers know what's up. They're like on top of things. They understand what's going on, and they're selling profitable products. So I'm very specific. I don't like save. I save very specific sellers that are actually doing volume on products. So I find products like this, right? This product, Paw Patrol Rider plushie, they're selling 30 a month. I don't need to know how much they're doing in revenue. All I care about is they're selling 30 a month. So when I'm doing sourcing for this product, I'll check wherever I check, AliExpress, Amazon, whatever. And if I can get it for $7, great. I now know 7 minus, I'll probably make after fees like 320 on this product in profit.
Right, but you're sourcing from anyway, you're not just sourcing from
I don't care. Yeah. I'll source from wherever. I can talk a little bit more about that. But so yeah, like
no, I like to
making,
listen, you talk because over the years I've had a lot of people on my channel. I've had people live with me. Like I had something called Dropship House where people flew and lived with me and we'll talk about this stuff, right? So go ahead, like that.
Yeah.
I know. Go
So I
ahead.
mean, how I think about it, right, is I look at this. It's selling 30 times a month. I can make $3 a sale. This product will make me $100 a month.
Right.
Like I do that math. As long as I'm a better price, better value, better listing, which I am because I have Ecom Sniper, my template's better, I will sell more than this person and I will keep that money. And this product, I can look at it. The minute I list it, it's going to make me 100 a month.
Right.
And like then I go to the next one. I say, okay, well, this one here, it's selling for this price here. I'm probably buying it for $18. Instead of saying probably, I like source it and check. And then I list it. And maybe I make $6 a unit on this. But again, 6 times 11, that's $66 I didn't have. And there's 10K products I get to list. So it's a lot of money.
Right. No, but what I was saying that I see in Zeek, like Zeek doesn't give you as much data as Ecom Sniper at all, right? And they just present like what one store sells per month, like the whole store, not per item. And I just think
stupid.
I know, but this is what I'm
doesn't tell me shit.
It's not necessary to make money. This is what I told you. It's not a necessary thing, right? But okay.
So yeah, that's how I think about that.
And then why Price Yak? What do you use Price Yak for?
So I use Price Yak for tracking.
So guys, if you guys want to like ask any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. I'll put a link to my Telegram group and all this stuff.
I don't think I can screen share Price Yak, unfortunately.
Okay, a lot of information.
Yeah,
and we also put a couple links to some free resources and cashback stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit about cashback. So I source a lot of my stuff from Amazon or from AliExpress and another vendor I'm not going to say the name of because I like that vendor.
Right.
Do you know what? I'll say it. There's this company called Vivor. They're Chinese Home Depot. They ship next day. They ship free. I can get 6% cash back. I can get 9% cash back with them. And they sell stuff no one else does for cheaper. Like they will constantly beat Amazon for like niche products.
Wow. Okay.
And the other thing to know about Vivor, this is some crazy sauce. If you watch the products enough, you can figure out their restock cycles. So I make most of my money on my Vivor products by betting that they're going to restock in the next week and selling product that isn't in stock. And like every single time it comes back in stock.
So everyone else is out of stock and you are in stock and you just bet
no one else has the product. Everyone else is sourcing it from like some Amazon place and making $3 a unit on like a $70 product. I make $10 a unit and it doesn't matter that's out of stock because I know it'll be back in stock later this week and shipped same day. So
right, but I mean I think is really interesting. Why I'm laughing is I wouldn't suggest anyone watching this video on YouTube to try to duplicate that. To be completely honest, I think Applie Pie is a unique individual, and there are a lot of things that I have done over the years in like being in the weeds in a dropshipping business that you find your own personal hacks and twists and stuff. And I think it's really interesting to have these conversations because I don't talk about these things on YouTube because I don't want, like, people can't really duplicate a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, there's some things you can duplicate, right? So
you use data,
cashback, right?
Cashback.
So anytime I order anything from AliExpress, I'm making minimum 6% cashback on a bad day. And I'll tell you how I get there. So I use multiple vendors for my cashback, depending on who's paying the most. The two vendors I use are Rakuten and Extra Bucks. Rakuten pays the highest amount sometimes and the lowest amount sometimes. So like, and when they're paying high, it's high. So like the most I've ever seen, this was ridiculous, was 25% cashback on Rakuten on AliExpress.
Crazy.
They did it for like 3 days over the summer, and I just bought like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff to store at my house. 25% cashback is ridiculous. Like on top of already better prices than like everywhere else, it's insane.
So guys, in the description, I'll put a link to some of these cashback sites so you guys can check it out. But
The
how
other
much
thing,
money you
so
think you made on cashback alone?
I've made at least 1.2K off cashback this year.
Just cashback.
Just cashback. Rakuten alone, I've made 900 something dollars on.
And they're paying.
Oh yeah, no, they pay like, I don't know, it takes a few months, but
Yeah, yeah,
cash flow is cash flow. It
yeah.
takes like 4 months till I get my money, but it's fine.
So
The
let's
other
do this.
thing,
Let's do
mhm,
this. Let's do a specific video where we talk about cashback.
fine.
Not right now. It's kind of late.
It is late. You're right. The one other thing about Rakuten
But you
though,
can go ahead. Yeah.
so there's two cashback things I want to say plus the other stuff, and you
Yeah.
can cut this out, be in a different video or whatever. Um, Rakuten recently released an Amex that's 4% cashback anytime you use Rakuten. It is an Amex. It is a Rakuten Amex that is 4% on top of any time you use Rakuten.
Right.
Any day of the week, always 5.6%. Whereas Rakuten shifts from 2% to 25%, and often is around the like 10% plus the 4% from the credit card. So the other credit card I use is the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. It is an uncapped 3% on every PayPal transaction. That is a lot of money.
Right. And then what would you use for Amazon? Is there anything you'd use for Amazon?
The Amazon, I would recommend you use the Amazon
Amazon card. Yeah.
Chase card. I think it's like 5%. There was some type where Discover had a 5+5, but I think it's gone now.
And Amazon has something with 6% also. One of the cards is 6%. I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
the Amex business card. Because
Mhm.
Amazon, you can get your own business card for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you guys should all make an Amazon business account if you want one and you have an LLC.
Actually, wait,
So that's
talking
the other
about that,
thing.
Well, Ronnie just got
what's
an
the
LLC.
yeah, what's the difference between like a normal
All
Amazon
right, no,
account and
hold on,
a
hold on, hold on. So
business?
guys, we're gonna continue this conversation without recording it because it's
Yeah.
getting late. So guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the links in the description. Like, subscribe, all the comments. I think Apple Pie is an interesting individual. And if you want him back on the channel, I hope that we'll have both Ronnie and Apple Pie back on the channel regularly. So like, subscribe, comment, and ask these guys any questions later.